he would quote Edmund Burke on this. The only thing necessary for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, what you just heard, just a portion of what happened yesterday in the case of Zachary Hughs, South Carolina versus Zachary Hughs for the murder of Christina Parcell. Christina Parcell was murdered on October 13th of 2021. She was found by her boyfriend, Bradley Post, who is incarcerated for what they found during the murder investigation, which included thousands of pictures and hundreds of videos of sexual exploitation of the daughter, which included Christina Parcell as a participant. Yeah. So they're investigating this murder. Bradley Post is in jail. They're collecting ring camera footage, and there's the defendant on his bicycle. They look for traffic camera footage. They find a truck with that bicycle in it right around the same time. That truck leads back to Zachary Hughs. There's another witness that was a friend of John Mello. John Mello was the daughter's father, who was trying to get custody of this child. Bitter custody battle going on. But he was friends with Zach Hughs. So all roads led to Zach Hughs, including the DNA that was found under Christina Parcell's fingernails when she scratched his face, according to his testimony, because he took the stand in his own defense. So what went on yesterday? When I left off, I had recapped his testimony, but we didn't get to cross-examination. So yesterday morning, I'm ready. I got my coffee. Same thing today. Got my coffee. I'm ready. This is going to be good, right? One question. That was a strange one. Did you drag Christina Parcell by her ankles or by her arms, up her shoulders? What difference does it make? Anyway. And he's like, I don't remember. I think it was ankles. Yeah. That was it. Then we get closing arguments. And one of the arguments during, I told you they were underwhelming. One of the arguments that prosecution made was that, you know, Zach is, he's telling you that he's just physically sick before he goes to do these murders. He's nauseous, he's shaking. You didn't see any of that on the stand when he's describing in detail this murder. He doesn't get nauseous, he's not shaking. They also insinuated that the cocaine that was found at the scene was planted by Zachary Hughs. I don't know about that. But again, I don't know. So the defense's argument was this wasn't a murder, because murder includes, you know, unjust, you know, no justification for what you did. It was the killing of someone in defense of another person. And, you know, the state was saying in their closing argument, if you believe that, what he's saying, that, you know, he's justified because of her actions towards the daughter, that's vigilante justice. He says, I'd be out of a job. I'd be out of a job because, you know, people would just be, I got a good reason. Got it. She was annoying me. How about that one? Anyway, so closing arguments, we go directly into deliberations. It lasted a few hours. They had a lot to discuss and not to discuss. They are not allowed to consider anything the defendant said with respect to the actions of Christina Parcell. He can say what he felt was going on, but he actually stated to the jury, it's true, and the state is hiding that from you. Not only am I saying it, it turns out it's true. And we know, the jury knows that there were all these videos and photographs and that Brad's in jail for sexual, well, yeah, I don't know if they know if it's whatever, sexual exploitation of a minor. So, but they're not allowed to talk about that. So what are they left with? His confession. I did it. Here's what I did. So they come back and he is found guilty on all counts. So the defense asks the judge, can we have some time to gather, the witnesses that we need for allocution and victim impact statements? And the judge says, sure, 15 minutes. I'll give you 15 minutes. I don't think that's what they had in mind, but so he gets the 15 minutes. So this, when they come back, the state makes a couple of sentences, recommendation, life in prison. Then says the sister would like to address the court. And I want to play that for you because this woman's very well spoken. She's got to be a lawyer. I don't know that for sure, but here's what she had to say.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will apologize in advance. I didn't expect to actually reach this point today. This is my second victim statement in 24 hours. Yesterday was reliving the two worst days of my life, between hearing the step-by-step account of my sister's murder, Mr. Mello's 2 new charges, his bond hearing, and my niece being put into emergency protective care again. So I am exhausted, and I'm going to do my best to express myself appropriately. So with Your Honor's leniency, just give me a bit of grace. My understanding is this conversation is with you. This isn't with the defendants. This is not with counsel. This is not with the gallery. So this is a conversation with you. And I've had 3 years to try to articulate how this has impacted me, and I still have yet to find the words, and it won't happen tonight either. So I've decided instead to talk about what logically should be taken into consideration for any sentencing, which is remorse, rehabilitation, and recidivism. This defendant sat on that stand with full disregard for the authority of the law when it came to his actions outside of this courtroom, and blatant disregard for the authority of law inside this courtroom. He recounted step by step in excruciating detail everything he did. And if I may paraphrase the defense counsel's closing statement, did he cry? Did he shake? Did he look visibly distressed? He said the word repulsed, but did he once look repulsed? He said the word vomited. Did he ever once look nauseated, as he described dragging my sister through my living room? Cold doesn't begin to describe the lack of emotion. And if I may be blunt, if we're going to argue somebody has to have malice and hate in their heart to be capable of murder, then one could also argue that anyone medically diagnosed as antisocial personality disorder is therefore not capable of committing murder. I think that is a logical fallacy, is asinine. In the fact that I'm tired, I will no longer go down that, but there has been no remorse once shown by this defendant in this courtroom. Without remorse, you cannot have rehabilitation. Rehabilitation requires acknowledgement that I have done a wrong, I have a debt to pay, and I can improve to become a better member of society. It begins with remorse. Without remorse, there is no rehabilitation. Without remorse, without rehabilitation, you have recidivism. This man, no, I'm sorry, this defendant wanted to kill someone. He joined the Marines, specifically the infantry. He wanted to kill someone. He was given a target on a silver platter. He was given an address, a date, a time, and he planned it. Because he knew that if he planned it just enough, he would never get caught. He planned it so much that he thought, well, even when I got caught, I got this. I can still get out of this. Without remorse, without rehabilitation, any person that goes through that effort to commit a murder would absolutely do it again to see if they could. You're left with either two options. Either he is a weak, easily manipulated man who would kill anybody that anyone asked him to, or he's not a weak and easily manipulated man. And if that's the case, then he absolutely would do this again to see if he's smart enough this time, to see if he can beat it this time, because he has shown no respect for the law of this courtroom. The only thing that I will say about this situation overall is that all of these men did nothing but use my sister. John Mello used her to create a whole new family when he had a wife and children already. Brad Post used her. This defendant used her. All of them used her for their own twisted personal gratification. He would do it again. Without remorse, without rehabilitation, you will have recidivism. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. If anybody else in the state.
So after Tina's victim impact statement, the defense's turn, and the father gets up to speak. And he mentions how proud he is of his son. He wouldn't have done it unless he had a good reason. Apparently, a month or so ago, he had written his parents a letter outlining everything he said on the stand, only in more detail, just to kind of give them the heads up. But he says, I raised him with the value of hard work. He has the strongest moral compass on the planet, according to the dad. Clearly biased. And he said so. I'm biased. I'm his father. But, this is his oldest son. He talked about how he had all these musicians in the courtroom to support him, how he's been an exemplary inmate in the detention center, that the corrections officers love him. They support him. They had said they were going to be there in the courtroom to support him. But, and I'm not sure, I guess he was just addressing the judge as to his son's character. Yeah. And I would tend to agree with Tina. He's either somebody who's so easily manipulated, or he's this horrible person. Like, neither one is a great character. And would he do it again? Now, here's the question I'm asking myself. Would her niece, let me put it a different way, but for this murder, would they have ever discovered what was going on, what was actually going on with the niece? that she was being sexually exploited by her mom and mom's boyfriend. And there was another minor involved. Would any of that have ever come out? Because every time CPS and the guardian ad litem would investigate, it would be unfounded. Everything would be unfounded. Well, clearly it was going on. It's on the videos. It's on this. It's in the photos. You know, Brad Post hasn't been tried and convicted yet, but I think what my view of this is Zach went into this knowing full well he's likely gonna get caught, and he's willing to face the consequences of his actions. But he's gonna save this girl, and he did. She was taken into emergency custody yet again, day before yesterday, when her father was arrested for accessory to murder before the fact and solicitation for murder. Because he offered Zach money. Zach wouldn't take the money. He offered $5,000. That didn't work. He offered $10,000. Zach did it for free because he was convinced that's what needed to happen to save this girl. No one else was doing it. Every time an allegation was made by John Mello, and maybe John cried wolf one too many times, but every time the accusations were made by John Mello, they were unfounded. But he was actually right. Yes. So following the victim impact statements, the judge pauses for a couple of minutes, and then he gives the sentence, which was life in prison. There were other charges, burglary, which was another life sentence, possession of a weapon, the harassment stuff, all of that runs concurrent. He was sentenced to 30 days for the harassment charges, 5 years for the weapon charge, and the additional life sentence. All of it runs concurrent, life in prison. He didn't mention the 60 days he gave him. I'm sure that's concurrent as well. He's already served 3 years and a few months. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd love to have you. If you're already subscribed, consider becoming a member of the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.